really happy to be checking back in today with Robert Pearson, the director of the Norfolk County RSVP program, for little updates on how the program is coping and some fun things that are coming up. Hi, Robert. Nice to see you again.
Hello, Joe. Always good to see you and come back for updates. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. It's our pleasure. Still doing it remotely. You can't beat the convenience of it, but hopefully to get back in person. Are you back in person at all at RSVP yet?
We are certainly back in person at the office, and we are not back in person yet with any of our meetings, so to speak. So I'm doing a bit of Zoom still. But you'll be hearing about activities over the summer some of them will be outdoors, but some of them will still be remote. And we'll get back there, I'd say, by the fall.
Okay,
I think a lot more outdoor.
I think remote communication is not going away after this past year and a half. It'll be a kind of a hybrid, I think, of in-person and remote going forward in the future. Not a bad thing, right?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, except where you got to do them both at the same time. Some people want to have in-person meetings with the opportunity to Zoom as well, and that could be tricky.
Yeah, that does present a new challenge to solve for sure. However, I mean, you really did adapt and pivot during the height of the pandemic and keep your volunteers active and keep your programs going.
To a good extent, yeah. To a good extent, we, I'd say, by the end of this pandemic, we were able to bring back up to 40% of our volunteers, which is pretty good considering we started out at about 25%, with a lot of losses. So we're starting to wind down certain things, like the elementary school tutoring is finished, and that won't be returning unless, some people, the bottom line, Joe, we still all need to be cautious because of this variant, even though it's so easy to say it's over. And, I don't want to be a party pooper. One of my board members said, Robert, you can't just plan out that this is done. We hope it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, Dan, I hear you. But yeah, we've been through it, but we have to do our due diligence so that we're in for the long haul. We're going to make adjustments, and we're coming out, and we have to keep it that way by people who aren't vaccinated wearing masks, and hopefully more and more people getting vaccinated.
That's right. Yeah. Did RSVP help at all with the vaccination efforts?
We helped in kind of side ways, not direct ways. We had volunteers helping, but not with vaccinations. But we had volunteers making face masks, and we had some volunteers working to check people at sites to make sure that the temperature and make sure that they were wearing masks. So that was really the extent of it.
Right. No, but also Meals on Wheels kept going, and that was service.
Oh no, a lot of services kept going, but in terms of things that really addressed stopping the pandemic, like helping, there's still some possibilities that we might be asked to do some things. I'm not sure what, but I guess it depends on if there's any resurgence.
Sure, yeah. But I would think, especially for recipients of Meals on Wheels, that became critical when they either were afraid to go out or didn't want to go out, to have it brought to them. Critical.
It is true. Plus, we increased friendly visiting remotely. We had the elementary schools remotely. Plus, some of it's still going on. English as a second language tutoring.
Sure.
As a Zoom opportunity. So, which is why one of the big programs we had started in January involves a program called Cyber Seniors, which is an outside agency that we've hired to train older adults on how to use computers, laptops, smartphones. And that's really my first at bat with us today.
Okay.
What if I may, the next, I want to describe Cyber Seniors for our listeners and tell them what's going on here. So, as I'll remind folks that those of you that haven't heard about RSVP before, we are in the business of recruiting volunteers age 55 plus to help in their communities throughout Norfolk County. We're sponsored by the Norfolk County Commissioners, and we receive a federal grant through what is now called AmeriCorps Seniors. So we now have expanded to not just offer the volunteer opportunities, but to support all seniors who need to become or are curious and feel motivated to do more on their computer.
Mm-hmm.
It could range most people out there have heard of Zoom, as you know, and Zoom was very popular, still is, as we've talked about during the pandemic. And we've been training folks how to access Zoom, as well as learn more advanced features of email. This next series that's coming up is going to start on July 22nd. Thursdays at 10 a.m. for 4 or 5 weeks. I say 4 or 5 because we've been lucky where they've added an extra class as an introduction. Usually it's four sessions, but hopefully it'll be 5.
Okay.
As a group over Zoom. So Cyber Seniors has trainers who are primarily young adults who are in college getting course credit. Well, there clearly are staff people on Cyber Seniors that do this full time as well. And so this particular class is going to be focused on iPad users only.
Okay.
And we have room for up to 50 people.
Oh,
in
very
this
good.
class. I think if we get, I'm reconsidering if we get, well, I'm looking for 50 people. Right now I have about 6 people signed up.
Okay.
And more are going to come who are receiving new iPads from their senior centers.
Okay.
So I know it's happening in Weymouth, it's happening in some other communities, but this is for people who are receiving new iPads, or anybody in Quincy that you have an iPad and you say, I'm not really using it that much. How do I use this? So anybody is welcome to call me directly at 781-234-3445 to sign up for this program. So this is it. There are really 3 different elements to the training.
Mm-hmm.
One is the group training, where I encourage, what I've learned from the other Cyber Senior training classes, Joe, is that people, this is all new, and people say, oh, can you answer my question in the group? How do I do this? And the truth is, we can't do that in the group so much. More or less, I'm encouraging folks to kind of like take notes. You're going to get a basic orientation from the Cyber Seniors people beforehand to log on, to be able to click on the link to come on Zoom on their iPad. But then I'd say this is the key of the program. There's a toll-free number that any participant is going to get that they can use for 6 months plus.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this is the key. They will get one-on-one support from an iPad or computer technician they make a call, they set up an appointment, could be a half hour, an hour appointment. They do it over the phone. If they need more help, then they'll plug them into a Zoom call to be able to see each other and show them things. But it's really up to the initiative of you, the senior, to say, I really want to learn this. It's not going to be hand-fed to you.
Right.
You have to be curious. You have to be interested. There's so many things, as you know, Joe, we all know because we're inundated by the computer every day, whether it's website searching, ordering products, safely online,
Mm-hmm.
how to do emails, sending photo attachments, collecting photos, how to use all these different features on your phone. So we are really needing people who sign up to know, if you want this to be effective, you're going to have to make the calls, not just show up to the class.
Right.
Right.
You'll have individual questions about your particular device and something that you want to do with it. So to be able to ask somebody one-on-one and have them spend some time with you to explain it is crucial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You need somebody to walk you through it. And guess what? We all know because it's happening to me too. It's like I forget things. And
Mhm.
as we're learning new things, it's okay to call again and say, can you remind me how to do this? I need help because I need a refresher. So the cyber seniors techs know this, they expect it. So this is, I think, is an ideal opportunity for people because you're not going to get it all from a class.
Yeah.
You need it. You need the one-on-one support.
Yep.
Plus, there's a Cyber Seniors website, cyberseniors.org. People listening, you could check that site now to find interesting lectures or tools for free on how to increase your technical abilities.
Okay.
And then there are going to be classes, once you're a member and involved with your class, then there are going to be some additional resources as well.
Yeah, nice. And the more you know about your device, the happier you're going to be with it, and the more satisfied you'll feel and more comfortable you'll feel using it.
Right. I mean, maybe we could just think about, Joe, together what some of the other features are that adults using the iPad could benefit from without getting too complicated. I mean, the computer devices, the iPhones, the iPads, this is clearly an Apple product. Some people that have this may or may not have an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
It is important for me to mention that you will need an email address to participate in this.
Sure. Yeah.
So it is important. You do need an email address.
Yeah.
And you need to have your iPad up and running, connected to Wi-Fi.
Right.
So all it would mean is that you're going to receive an email, and you would, for an iPad, it's a touch screen. So you would touch the hyperlink. It's an underlined series of words or phrases. You touch it, and then a new window opens up into the Zoom link where you're connected.
Right. It is pretty intuitive. It is pretty user friendly, and you'll be able to walk yourself through it without too much difficulty. But it is very different than a personal computer. It's a different operating system. So if you have not had experience with Apple products, there's a learning curve.
Yes. So even backstepping from my desire to give some additional types of things people could learn, I would say a key thing is, if you haven't been very familiar with computers, it's a different way of thinking.
Right.
I mean, I would say a minority of people that have a tremendous amount of difficulty understanding the step-by-step computer. Not most people, but a few that really have trouble understanding computer understanding.
Yeah.
It's a very different way of thinking sometimes, because you're directing step by step, and it's kind of like another language.
It really is.
It's a visual touch, and speaking language. I mean, your iPad can record things for you. You could learn how to use calendars. I mean, years ago, I had a friend named Howard. He had the very first iPhone. This is before iPads came out. I said, oh my God, I hope I don't have to learn to use one of those someday. And eventually I got one, of course. And I said, a calendar? I have to learn to key in and put in all my things. I use it continually throughout the day.
Yeah.
Because I set it up with an alarm too. So you could set up alarms to remind you when your appointments are.
Yes.
It's invaluable if, for somebody like us, are using it for work,
right,
as well. Now, you at home, hopefully you're gonna say, well, this is leisure, or at times you may want to learn how to use the word processing. In addition to emails, I mean, you could ultimately through Apple Pages, I think is the program, the app. So apps are things that people would learn about. There are all these little, these different areas of interest. You have everything. I don't want to blow people away, but you have everything from, a flashlight on your phone to a voice recorder, to a mirror, if you want to turn it into a mirror.
Yes.
It's really a virtual tool that allows you to do so many things. You will not be bored. So, I mean, a big mission of ours with this, Joe, is reducing social isolation,
Yes.
helping older adults not only be more involved, but be more connected to others. You know, FaceTime is something where you're going to be able to make so-called phone calls over your iPad and see your grandkids while you're talking to them. It's like
Certainly.
Star Trek from the past.
It's very true. It's science fiction become reality for sure. Yeah.
Right, right. And so all of you that have iPads or that are receiving iPads, this is a great opportunity to learn more, because I mean, all of us can continue to learn more because there are more things come out to do with them.
Yeah, and I'd advise folks not to get overwhelmed, because really all you need to learn is what you need to know. You know, you can pick and choose the things that you want to learn, and not be overwhelmed by a deluge of information, because nobody can know it all.
Right. Some people are very comfortable. Just I want to improve my email, maybe send some photo attachments to my kids,
Right.
learn how to save an attachment. Or, if you open up an email, you may want to save, a photo, a document or a photo, and there are ways to create folders to save items in your email system.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah. Is there a deadline to register for that, Robert?
Thank you for bringing that up, Joe. I would say that if people want to sign up, I would say that you should do your best to get to me by June 30th, because there's going to be a deluge of new people with iPads that are getting new iPads coming in the first 2 weeks of July.
Okay.
So anybody listening, my phone number is 781-234-3445. Robert Pearson. Just call me if I'm not here. Leave me a message. Say, Cyber Seniors class, I want it, or I'm interested, and I will call you back. Just leave your phone number. Again, you need to have an email address to participate.
Okay, excellent. What else?
Well, again, summertime things tend to quiet down a little. I mean, some volunteer opportunities like elementary school, close down, people go on vacation more. But the other thing I'd like to mention that's happening this summer to our listeners is we are going to be hosting an event at the Weymouth Senior Center next door on August 12th.
Okay.
Pardon me, Joe.
Sure.
Which is a Thursday, from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It's going to be primarily a drive-through event, but we're going to be having some canopies, if the weather's nice, with chairs and tables. We're still being careful around the post-COVID circumstance. So with social distancing, we'll have some tables set up. So it's a combination volunteer recognition for RSVP volunteers that have been active with us, especially over the past year, but also a welcome to you folks who are listening that are age 55 and older that want to learn about our volunteer opportunities.
Okay.
So we'll provide you with snacks, beverages, literature, and a couple of Remember Us gifts.
Nice.
If you want to show up, it's the volunteers that are coming are going to be getting a boxed lunch because they've been working for us, and this is our appreciation of them. But we said, since we're doing this at the senior centers instead of at Lantana's or something that we usually do, we'll go back next year to celebrate a little belatedly our 30th RSVP anniversary.
Okay.
But this is an opportunity if you're curious to know about what's going to happen in the fall. Elementary school tutoring, Meals on Wheels opportunities in Quincy, ISS food pantry, and ESOL tutoring. Because we are involved with a couple of organizations in Quincy, QCAP, as well as the China Neighborhood Association,
yes,
as well, for ESOL tutoring. So you can find out about those opportunities and just come meet some nice people. And we're friendly. We don't bite. So come out and come out and visit with us.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for folks who are looking maybe a little extra time on their hands now and looking for something to give back. It's a great way to do it. I know that I've been asked myself about the Rides for Veterans program. Robert, is that still something that's available?
Thank you for bringing that up as well, Joe. Rides for Vets is our flagship program.
Yeah.
This is we are continuing to look for volunteer drivers on a very flexible schedule with mileage reimbursement. But for any of you out there that are vets or spouses or widows of vets, all we need is a week's notice. We can't really do much if you give us 1 or 2 days notice. But if you give us a week's notice, we can find, in most cases, a driver for you door to door in a private vehicle for your appointments, for your medical appointments. Again, my phone number is 781-234-3445. We are happy to arrange rides for you with a friendly volunteer to your appointment. Just give us a 1 week notice. These are free, no tipping, no, we just want to give back to you. So that is, again, if you are interested in being a driver, please note that phone number as well.
Okay.
We have a wonderful software system that, maybe there are 2 out of our 40 drivers right now that don't do computers at all. So yeah, if you want to drive and you don't do computers, we can accommodate you. But it's a very simple software system. Even if you have, a modicum of experience, on a website, you could just seek opportunities, click a button to sign yourself up, and it gives you all the details of what time to arrive, how many miles, it'll take, how long the appointment's going to last. So yes, that is our free Rides for Veterans program.
It's an excellent service, and I know a lot of folks depend on it more now than ever, certainly, sure.
They do, and I'm glad we were able to bring a good number of people down for their COVID shots.
Yes, see, you did help out with
yeah,
that.
So there's another way. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you, Joe, for coming back to that. That had slipped my mind earlier. But otherwise, in an ongoing way, you all are welcome to call me sooner if you want to hear about the Meals on Wheels programs or helping out at the food pantries in Quincy and surrounding area. ESOL isn't going to happen in the fall, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Okay. Excellent. Sounds like there's plenty to do and plenty to keep folks busy. Anything else we should touch on today, Robert?
Well, I just want to put in a plug for AmeriCorps and AmeriCorps seniors.
Okay.
So we like to tout the fact that this is government doing good work, and that within communities all over Norfolk County, all over Massachusetts, and all over the country, there are programs that receive federal grants, such as ours, to support the community. There's AmeriCorps, which many people have heard of. That's a program for younger adults to help in the community, and they get stipends. And then our program, which is AmeriCorps Seniors, there are, in addition to, our program is RSVP, Retired Senior Volunteer Program, but there are also the Foster Grandparent Program and Senior Companions Program, where people commit to, unlike us, of 2 to 4 hours a week, commit to maybe 20 hours a week and get a stipend.
Okay.
I'm not involved with those, but I could certainly direct people if they want to be involved with, being a foster grandparent or helping seniors and getting a stipend for it. So that's pretty much it, Joe. It's always great to come on and update you. I feel like I have the luxury to come on more frequently and look forward to updating you anytime you want.
It's our pleasure to host you. It's part of our mission here too at QATV, Robert, is to connect programs like yours with the community. So we're happy to do it, and thank you for taking the time to do it.
You're very welcome, Joe. And who knows, maybe next time I'll see you in person.
Wouldn't that be something? Of course, we'll both be over a year older at that point.
I just had a birthday, so I'll see you during this birthday year.
Okay, that
I
sounds
hope.
good.
I hope. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope to hear from you.